This week in Grace's Girls Club, our newest member, a field that we haven't tapped into very much. I want you to meet Andy. I'm going to let her introduce herself to you. Andy, tell us your title and the company that you work for.
So my title is Electronics Engineer Forensic Examiner, and I work for the FBI at the Terrorist Explosive Device Analytical Center on Redstone Arsenal, specifically for the Technical Exploitation Unit.
Can you fit that on
It's
a
a
business card,
mouthful.
or do you have to hand a brochure when you say the title? So Andy, each one of those words was more impressive than the last, but walk me through what it means. Tell me about your job and your day-to-day.
Okay, so our primary responsibility is to examine electronics that are associated with IEDs, or improvised electronic devices. And we may get something that looks a little like this, a circuit board that has been picked up in the dirt, maybe after an explosion or maybe when they've raided somebody's house, and they bring those to us and they want to know, how does that work? So we reverse engineer those electronics. Now, a lot of times we will also see things that are commercially available items, say like a key fob and an appliance controller, that you could use in your house to turn on lights. And those may have been modified to be used in the same way. So again, we've been asked to explain to someone how these could be used and how do they work.
Andy, I'm sure there's a range, but when you're reverse engineering something, does it take you hours, days? Does it take you months? Give me a general range of the timeline there per project.
It does range depending on the complexity of the device. Some things we can look at fairly easily, like a simple switch, and say, oh yes, this is when this input occurs, then this output occurs. Some of them can take months for us to figure out due to their complexity, due to maybe trying to find the components that were used, that they're not commonly available. Just a variety of factors there that can affect our examination times. So you kind of have to be prepared for maybe that quick turnaround and sometimes that not so quick turnaround. While they make it look good on television and in the movies, it doesn't always work that way.
Well, it sounds like you have an incredibly important job and play a very key role, but I understand the FBI is not the only place you've ever worked. What has your other experience been like?
So prior coming to the FBI, I also worked for several years as a electrical and instrumentation engineer supporting Monsanto, Solutia, and Ascend Performance Materials in Decatur, Alabama. And there I would design installations for electrical and instrumentation on their projects for new processes or maybe revamping old processes. And then I also did a short stint with Teledyne Brown supporting Boeing on the GMD contract. And there I was a facility maintenance engineer.
So we have a lot to thank you for. You've played a key role in multiple different departments at multiple different companies.
Well, thank you for that. I've never really thought of it that way.
Oh, it's screaming at me as you're saying that. Yes, it's very true. So let's go back to your job currently at TEDAC. Of the letters in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, which letter or sequence of letters would you say most applies to your job?
Wow, I feel like we really touch on all four in our job because the science of electricity is used in everything that we do. And of course, being the technical exploitation unit, technology is what we examine, it's what we reverse engineer, and we actually use technology to do that. And then, of course, engineering backgrounds, my degree is in electrical engineering, and we use the things that we learn in school to accomplish our job. And then, of course, math, you can't do engineering without math, but we actually do calculations in our examinations to determine maybe how long a device, if it's a time type device, we can calculate how long it potentially takes for it to, before it's triggered, before it goes off, that type of thing.
I imagine your role is one where every single day you walk into the office and say, all right, here we go, because you have no idea what's going to hit your desk that day. Is that true?
That is so true. It is different. every day. And I can make a plan the day before of what I want to do the next day, but we really don't know. The world changes. I mean, we are there to support our field offices. We're there to support our partner agencies in DoD and even our international partners. So we just never know what's going to happen. But we can have some routine things, I guess, but yes, it is very different day to day.
Well, it keeps you on your toes, right? We all need that.
Yes.
So I want to go back to, you've touched on your degree, but walk me through a little bit more of the schooling you went to. Where did you get your degree? Do you have your master's? Is that something that's needed in your field? Walk me through a little bit of the educational process to get to where you are today.
Okay, so I have a bachelor's of science in electrical engineering from Tennessee Tech University in Cookeville, Tennessee. Wings up, go Golden Eagles. And and after graduation, I started work, and I did not go back to get my master's. I did, however, get my professional engineering license, which was something in the work that I did in the plants. That was what's the word I'm looking for? That was something that was a little more desired, especially if you were to go into consulting and doing that type of work. And so I did get my PE license in control systems, and I have maintained that. Also, as far as the job at the FBI, whenever you sign up to be a forensic examiner, you're committing to participate in their training program to be a forensic examiner, which is about 2 years, 2 to 3 years, depending on just how quickly you progress through the training program. And so I also had that training on top of all the other training that I had in the past to get to the position that I'm in now.
So I imagine your field, as you know, this technology advances, is one where continuing education is key. You know, I have a lot of doctors that I talk to that say they're in seminars once a quarter learning about new fields of medicine and new procedures and things like that. Is that kind of echoed in your field as well, or not as much?
Yes, absolutely. Just because technology is changing every day, we are required by the lab to have a certain number of hours every year of continuing education. But my professional engineer's license also requires a number of hours per year or every 2 years to maintain that licensure. And so I focus all of that training on what I'm doing at the time. So now I am focusing that training mostly on electronics, RF communications, anything that can help me do my job better.
Andria Turner, ladies and gentlemen, one educated woman. So, Andy, walk me through why you chose this field.
Well, when I first started out, engineering was not even on my radar, I'll be honest. Originally, I wanted to go into computer science, and because I really enjoyed programming. And I talked with folks, counselors, other adults, other friends, and many people said, you may want to explore engineering, especially electrical engineering, because it will provide you with more opportunities, just a wider field of things that you could get into. And so I thought, well, why not? And so that's kind of how I ended up there. It wasn't anything really fancy or great aha moment or anything. And so once you get into electrical engineering, at least at that time, I know the curriculum has changed quite a bit since I graduated. The emphasis areas that I chose were still more toward programming type things. It was called digital and controls. So I still learned that type of thing. So when I came out of school and my first job, I did quite a bit of PLC programming at the plant.
Absolutely, absolutely. I kind of love that, to be honest with you. I feel like a lot of young women are going to relate to that of, okay, sure, I'll give this a shot and we'll see how it goes. I really like that's your story. So what is the best part of your job?
The best part of my job, I would say that it is whenever we get an email from a supervisor or someone, in management that says, hey, your group contributed to this successful case closure, this successful prosecution, or this person pled out because the evidence was overwhelming and you contributed to that. The FBI's mission is to excuse me, uphold the Constitution and protect the American people. And so anytime we can do something toward that mission, that's to me the best part of the day. That and the people that I work with, they're a very great group.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds tough to beat. That really does. So if that was the best part of your job, what are some of the challenges, some of the red ticket items that hit your desk every day that you have to problem solve to get your way through?
Well, since our job of reverse engineering is really problem solving in a formal way, that's almost everyday kind of thing. I think some of the challenges that we run into probably aren't very different than some other positions. As far as like time management and communications, to me are just huge. We have so many things going on. I have to prioritize. That's probably my biggest challenge, is to prioritize my day. I have, a number of cases that I have to get finished that are assigned to me. Plus, I also serve as the quality rep for our unit, so I have a responsibility to that, as well as to one of our areas called electronic data recovery as their program manager. So trying to balance all of those things is a bit of a challenge. But like I said, I work with great people, and people, they all understand that we're all trying to do these multiple things right now. Our unit's very new to the FBI and to the lab as a whole. So we've been trying to develop our training, develop our quality documents, do all these things to try to build this unit from the ground up in the last 8 years. So there's a lot going on every day there. And two, I don't think it's an everyday issue, but there are some challenges that come with being a female in a male-dominated discipline. For a long time, I was the only girl in the unit. I'm very thankful that we have another one now, and we're hoping we can talk some others into pursuing this. But I know that a lot of people don't even realize, when I tell them I work for the FBI, it's like, I didn't know engineers worked for the FBI.
Right.
I always thought it was just agents, people with badges and guns.
Right.
So that's some of the stuff that we deal with.
And that's pretty incredible. And I think you touched on something really important there, the flexibility, right? I mean, I'm sure when you were getting out of college and working in your first job after already being flexible, picking your degree, you probably didn't figure that you were going to be the only woman working in a new department, one day down the line, and that was going to be your role. But here you are, and you're so successful at it. And it was your ability to adapt and problem solve and embrace challenges that really got you here.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Now, I know you're busy. I know you're saving the world and reverse engineering to keep us all safe, and I thank you for that. But before I let you go, I have one more question for you. If you had a message to young girls, young women, young students in general who wanted to join the STEM workforce one day, what would your message to them be?
I think my message would be explore your interests. Just whatever piques your interest, even as if you're in elementary school. Read about it, learn about it, see if it's something that you're really passionate about. It may change. Like a lot of probably young ladies and young boys as well too. When I was in elementary school, probably through middle school, I was convinced I wanted to be a veterinarian, which also is STEM related. And because I enjoyed animals, I enjoyed biology, I enjoyed being outside, I enjoyed, enjoying God's creation, all the things that went with that. And eventually my interest led me into computers. And then that was kind of a new thing then. I don't want to date myself, but it was a newer thing especially for girls to go into at that time. Right. And I've always liked a little bit of a challenge. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself either. And just explore things, be open to some opportunities, and talk to people. If there's something you're really interested in, especially if you're here in the Huntsville area and STEM type opportunities, I see things advertised all the time for like cyber camps and different things like that you can get into. Talk to your parents, your teachers, your counselors. And I think the other thing I would recommend is surround yourself with a good support system, whether it's family or friends, people that will support your interests and support your desire to go into a STEM field.
Those are wise, wise words. All right, Andrea Turner of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Andy, thanks so much for being here today. This was really, really helpful. You shared great information. I'm so excited for everyone to see this. I feel like you shined a light on a field that most people didn't know about, and you did it in such an informative and inspirational way. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, I hope you have a great day today, and officially and formally, welcome to Grace's Girls Club.
Thank you.